Hi, this is Kat Young, and I'm so excited to join you live today. Really looking forward to talking with you about a few tips to help you as you prepare to travel during the holiday season. So, hopefully, you all are able to see me and hear me. I'm going to check and see if there are any comments coming in. Again, I am joining you live. So, if you are joining me live, please just type the word live in the chat. And of course, if you are joining me for the replay later, just type in replay. But again, really excited to talk to you about a few tips to help you prepare to travel during the travel season. The holidays are here. It is the most wonderful time of the year. And yeah, I think that these are things that will hopefully help you have just a tiny bit less anxiety and maybe a little less stress as you gear up to see family and friends. So here we go. All right. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen with you. Okay, so tip number one is we are going to, let's see, actually, that's how I want to do it. Yeah. So tip number one is let's talk about preparing for health and safety. So whether you are going to the airport or getting out there on the road, you want to make sure that you have the proper equipment with you so that you can feel safe and healthy as you get ready to go on the road. Now, as many of you know, if you are traveling within the US, the TSA does require that you wear masks when you go into an airport, on planes, trains, and buses. So if you are taking large transportation like that, sharing it with other people, I recommend that you bring more than one mask and that it is a KN95 mask. Now, as you can see, the KN95 masks are disposable, and I personally am a huge fan of the reusable masks. But when you're traveling with a large number of people going a longer distance, I recommend a KN95 mask. And this is because they have more filtration. There's about, I think it's up to 5 layers of filtration. So it's better for you in terms of breathing and in the larger crowds. And again, you should bring more than one mask with you in case something happens. Maybe the strap on the mask breaks. Maybe you were digging in your pockets for something you were eating. You take your mask off for a minute and now you've lost that mask. So bring more than one mask, not only for yourself, but for each person that is traveling with you if you're traveling with a group. Okay, so KN95 masks if you're traveling on a plane or train or bus, and bring more than one mask just in case you should lose one or anybody in your group loses one. Also, I think it's a great idea to bring hand sanitizer and wipes. Now, you're going to be touching a lot of different surfaces, going all over the place. So, better to have your own stuff with you rather than depending on there being a pump or something nearby that you can use. So, definitely recommend that you bring a small hand sanitizer with you. And I would also bring sanitizing wipes just so that if you're getting on a plane or a train, you can wipe down the armrests and you can wipe down the little table that you can pull out in front of you. That weighs a bit. You know that you've cleaned the space. Now, they're always going to tell you, oh, we've cleaned it before new passengers get on, especially if you're on a flight. Why not do it for yourself? Just have that extra assurance. And keep in mind, like you're doing this because you're going to see other family members and friends. So the healthier that you are and the less likely that you have come into contact with something that's a little gross, the better it is for everyone involved. And this goes for people who are a little tired of wearing masks. I look forward to the day where we don't have to wear masks and it's a choice. And yet I'm very happy that we are required to wear masks on planes. I think about it like this, like you wouldn't want to have to catch the flu, would you? So I think that when you're wearing masks, you're less likely to get a lot of things. We're not just talking about COVID. You are less likely to catch a cold or get a sore throat because you're less exposed to a lot of different things. So I highly recommend masks and sanitizing wipes and hand sanitizer just for in general, let alone a global pandemic. Thank you, Tiffany. You were saying KN95 or some equivalent is definitely the best mask to travel with and bring a pack or two for sure, for sure. All right. Now, the second tip is Be prepared for crowds. Now, I think that we need to mentally prepare for crowds because it's the holiday season. So there's no need to pretend that it's going to be quiet this year. 2020 was a little bit different. You definitely had opportunities for wider spaces, not as many people getting out there on the road. That's not the case in 2021. And as we prepare for 2022, people are really eager to see their family and friends and to unite. So you need to know that the airports are going to be busy, filled with people. So it's not going to be a quick fix to get in and out. So just think about things like maybe you are interested. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. So busy airports, and you're also going to encounter a lot of crying babies. People are bringing their children for the first time to meet grandma and grandpa. And so you have a lot of little ones who are just really frustrated and don't want to be in the air. Maybe they're having earaches. Who knows what their issue is? Maybe they just, they're just having a bad mood. Honestly, sometimes I want to cry just like them. You need to just know that you're going to see them on your flight. You're going to run into them if you're at the gas station. You might be one of the parents or family members traveling with crying children or someone who is just not in a good mood. So just be prepared for that rather than going into like, oh, I'm so shocked that they're children who are unhappy or grown-ups who are miserable. That's called the holidays, people. So just know that going into it. So in order to make your life easier as you run into all of these crowds, I recommend if you're going to the airport that you get something like TSA PreCheck. TSA PreCheck allows you to go through the line faster, and that therefore you don't have to open up your bag and take everything out of it when you are getting in line to go through security. You can keep your shoes on as well. So by having TSA PreCheck, you have to pay $85, but that gives you 5 years of speed through service, or as speedily as you can get through airport lines. So I recommend, if you don't already have it, that you get something like TSA PreCheck, just to make it one less thing that you have to worry about and a little bit faster to get through the airport. There's so many other products that you can get, but I think that this is a really great entry-level thing to do, so that even if you end up in a line for TSA PreCheck, I can guarantee you it will go a lot faster than if you don't have it. And so if you're traveling with more than one person, make sure that each person that you're traveling with has TSA PreCheck. Also, if you're at the airport or at the bus station, try and find a quieter space just to decompress. Because again, if you're around a lot of people, you can feel very anxious, a bit stressed out. So maybe it's walking around and finding a gate where nobody's departing very soon. Maybe you just go sit over there. Or maybe you have access to a lounge at the airport or at the train station so that you can have a quick drink or a snack and have a space to put your things down. So find a quieter space and just be there, so that way you can start thinking about all of the wonderful things that happen at the holiday season rather than thinking about the crying kids and the long lines and all the other things that are frustrating you. Just taking a moment to yourself really does give you an opportunity to collect yourself and to still be in a good mood as you gear up to go see your family and friends. All right. And so my last tip for you today is to prepare for delays. So whether you are traveling throughout the South, I'm going to visit my family in Mississippi, or if you are going up north, maybe you're going up to Michigan, maybe you're going to try and see if you can make it into Canada. Wherever you're going, there may be delays. And so you could run into weather delays. And that means that even if you're in a place where there is no snow or rain, if the flight that you're taking or the bus or the train that you're trying to get is coming from an area where there is snow or rain, you're going to run into a delay. Also, maybe just getting to the airport, or if you're driving, maybe you're going to encounter busy roads. So you don't want to leave things to the last minute so that you are stuck, again, creating more anxiety for yourself before you get where you're trying to go. So try your best to leave early. I see that Tiffany mentions airport lounges are outstanding mid-travel, especially when they aren't packed. Yes, I love a good airport lounge. I tell you, it has definitely saved me in times when I thought like I was going to go crazy. Just being able to have a coffee or a glass of wine and recollect my thoughts makes such a difference. And so, yeah, I definitely highly recommend airport lounges. If you don't already have access to an airport lounge, you can buy a day pass. They're anywhere from, say, $35 to $60. And I know some people are saying $35 to $60. If you're one person or maybe two people, I definitely recommend it. If you're a larger group and each person is able to pay, again, I would recommend it on a busy day when you don't want to be stuck with a lot of people. But again, if you have access to an airport lounge, please go. It is worth it. You will benefit, even if it's just to go grab a quick snack and leave it. Do that. It is worth it. All right. So again, going back to dealing with delays and busy roads, if you're getting ready to head out, then think about how much earlier you can leave so that you can avoid the crowds as much as possible, so that you can avoid the anxiety of being delayed for your flight. Because this, my friends, is the saddest thing you end up seeing, is that you've rushed to the airport, you get there by the skin of your teeth, and then your flight is delayed anyway. So try and leave as early as possible. If you have not booked your flights yet, you're kind of late, but if you haven't booked your flights yet, I would say to you that maybe if you could book your flight earlier in the day, that will also help you, because the later in the day that you book a flight, or book any departure, honestly, train or bus, the more likely you are to run into delays that happen later, such as weather delays, or if there's an accident, then that will cause you to have to wait around longer. So try as much as possible to book to leave early. If you're driving, leave earlier in the day, and that will help you a great deal. So I've already rambled on a little longer than I thought, but I just wanted to say that this is a wonderful time to reconnect with your family and your friends. I hope that you are looking forward to travel, and that is the most important thing to take away from this, is that if you prepare in advance for your trip, these few things, I could come up with a laundry list of things that you could do, but the most important thing to keep in mind is think in advance, prepare in advance for your travel during the holiday season, and it will be so much more enjoyable for you, so that when you arrive and spend time with these people, you can be in good spirits, be thankful for the opportunity to see them, and get ready to do it all over again this time next year. So I thank you very much for joining me live today. Excited to test this out, and looking forward to joining you again next time. So until we meet again, thanks so much. Let's go travel. Let's go travel.